Hi,
Mark.
I'm Vicki Mackey with the Vergers Guild Nomination Committee. I am here with DuTeil, who is currently one of our board members and is an eligible candidate who is running again for the board of directors in September. Good evening, Duke, and welcome.
Thank you, Vicki. Glad to be here.
If you will, please tell us where you are from and what church you serve in as Verger.
I'm currently living in Round Rock, Texas, where I serve at St. Richard's Episcopal Church here in Round Rock as the head verger.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me get started by asking you a few questions in order that we may get to know you a little better as a verger. Our first question is, what is your perspective on the annual conferences, and do future conferences need to change in any way?
Good question. Thank you. First, let me say that conferences are awesome. I've been going to them. I started going to conferences in 2008 and have been to every one since then. I've chaired two of the conferences, the one in 2010 at the National Cathedral and the one in 2019 at Camp Allen. So I'm a pro-conference individual. For the future, the board needs to do some serious thinking and address some serious needs. And I see those as one, looking at the overall cost of a conference to an individual, transportation, registration, housing, those sort of things. We need to look at locations, what makes them more accessible, both distance and cost-wise, and whether people will come to them, ways to make them more attractive to people. And probably the big question we need to address, and the board needs to take this up in serious thought, and that is our model for conferences still practical in a post-pandemic era? And I'm not 100% sure that it is. So we need to do some serious thought and soul searching on where we go from here. The next two conferences after this one coming up are planned in great locations, but beyond that, we need to look at where we're going.
Okay, thank you. Number two, what do you consider are your best skills and assets that you would bring to the board?
A number of them. One, I have pretty good organizational skills, and my computer skills are right there. I have both a local and a national perspective on vergers and the Episcopal Church. I have a pretty strong training background. As a matter of fact, I authored the current iteration of our training course. And I have a sense of corporate knowledge of the Vergers Guild, having been the treasurer at one point, the financial secretary at one point, and currently I am the current president. I have truly enjoyed what I've done on the board so far, yet I feel I still have some things to contribute before I prepare to pass leadership on to the next generation of leaders.
Okay, thank you. Number three, how would you go about getting more information available to reach the unrecognized, unacknowledged verger in the many churches and dioceses about the guild to become members?
Vicki, that's a good one. Basically, I view it as an education dilemma. We are currently reaching more and more vergers out there, as evidenced by the enrollments in the verger training course coming from new congregations almost daily or weekly. So I know we're reaching more of them we have before, just from those that are signing up for the training course. And you know, the board and the guild shop put together a diocesan training kit, or diocesan kit, to be used at local diocesan conventions. But so far, it's not being utilized. I think there's only been 3 or 4 that have been out there, and the cost on the diocesan kit is our cost plus shipping. There's no profit in anywhere. Just to get these materials out to you to use at a convention. So we need to work with local chapters to get them to set up a booth in their local convention. And if there's not a chapter in a diocese, we probably need to work on that. And at least get some vergers interested at the grassroots level. The board can't recruit new vergers. The word of mouth is what gets them in the guild, and the best way to do that is to introduce it to their clergy um, at their local conventions. It's probably the best grassroots level to build our membership and get it going. And second to that is a big push at General Convention. We've had a booth at General Convention for the last 3. We didn't have one in Baltimore because they canceled the exhibit hall. But the 3 conventions prior to that, we had a booth, and we've already reserved a booth space for next summer's convention in Louisville. And people need to be on the lookout for the volunteer list to help man that booth. But we get a lot. The bump in information and people asking for information is tremendous coming out of General Convention.
All right, thank you so much. Our 4th question: how long have you been a verger, and what do you like most about being a verger?
I was first commissioned as a verger in 1994, and I've served at a mission church, at 2 different large parishes as employment has moved me around. And then I've also served as the head verger at the Washington National Cathedral prior to retirement. So I've been in all those different types of churches and understand them. What do I like most about being a verger? It's the people, from local to national, parishioners, acolytes, Eucharistic ministers, other vergers, clergy, bishops. I enjoy the interaction with all of those kinds of people. And in doing so, finding ways to elevate the worship experience of worshipers without calling attention to myself is what I enjoy most of all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And again, Duke, I want to thank you for your commitment to run for the board of directors again and allowing us to know you better.
Thank you very much. See you in San Diego.
All right.